Next story. So, what do you think about Julian Assange? Apparently, he was offered a pardon for proof that Russia didn't hack the DNC email.
A pardon from who?
One of the Trump aides. One of the Trump aides and former California Republican Congressman Dana Rohrabacher.
Well, wasn't Assange under investigation?
He advised Julian Assange.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yep.
Now, let's say, wasn't he convicted of or accused of raping or sexually assaulting?
Espionage.
No. Aside from that.
That was in another country.
Yeah, dude, I don't give a shit. This country, that country, the other country. We in a global world here. His report was global. If any of that behavior happened anywhere, I'm not giving him a pass or pardon for not a damn thing. Sorry. Your reputation, your actions, I don't think it was in another country.
Well, the accusation that Assange sexually molested someone, I believe that was in Austria.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what he's being accused of in America is basically, like espionage,
right,
for example. But he didn't. It's not like he hacked. Well, right? The thing is, he didn't hack into any American servers. Those files were handed to him by a member of the American military. And so he just published those files in a public forum. So basically his lawyers are trying to give him protections as if he was a journalist. No, I'm sorry, I was wrong. The rape allegation was in Sweden, not Austria. So now...
Yeah, I see the separation of the situations. However, same person, who knows what happened or didn't happen. He was also being well,
Sweden dropped the charges.
Well, that don't mean a whole lot. But I was also going to say he was also being investigated for similar type activities, not the sexual assault, the espionage in other countries also. Him getting information from other countries, other government stuff and exposing it. So it wasn't just the US, but I don't think he should be pardoned for anything. If you don't need a pardon if you're not convicted on what it is. You know what I mean? Like if he didn't directly hack into servers and that was found to be the case and legally that's not a convictable offense or crime or whatever, then you don't need a pardon, right?
Well, the thing is, the FBI wants to throw the book at this guy.
Well,
they're just putting charge on top of charge on top of charge.
Cool.
So that's really what's happening there. So
yeah, because they don't appreciate
what about Edward
the fact
Snowden?
that
I think
Sorry, say that again.
I think Edward Snowden should get a pardon. I think Snowden should definitely get a pardon, though.
Why?
That's just my opinion. I definitely think. Well, the thing was, Snowden Yeah, to me, see, Snowden, we were talking about whistleblowers for the last year. Mm-hmm. Snowden was a real whistleblower. The government was clearly doing something illegal, and he blew the whistle on it. And so, to me, Snowden, he deserves a pardon. I mean, definitely a lot more than Assange does, more deserving than Assange does. But to me, he blew the whistle on something that the government was doing illegally. So
isn't there whistleblower? I mean,
now he can't come home.
Yeah, but isn't there whistleblower ways to go about it? Like, isn't there I want to say they have protections for them in place. Whistleblower, you go through these certain channels to reveal whatever it is, just like these people did on Trump. And then you're protected because you're trying to do the right thing. He didn't do it the right way, right? Am I wrong?
I don't know if the whistleblower. I don't know if the whistleblower protections when Snowden did it was as strong. He definitely could have went to Congress. But you got to keep in mind at the same time, that was in the middle of the Patriot Act. So, there may not have been a tolerance for Snowden in that case, even though, what he did.
I was going to say, I think that there wasn't as much a tolerance because it would have revealed under the Obama administration what the CIA and the NSA, whatever, were actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't make them look bad. So I think that would have been more of the issue. But I don't even care about either one of these. You could go on Facebook and people could freaking dump whatever information they want at this point about anybody, anytime, anywhere. Leaks happen everywhere from even national news organizations, reporters. People are leaking left and right. So why would Snowden still hiding or whatever? I mean, what was the overall effect of it?
I mean, he definitely, he definitely opened, the eyes of the public in terms of what was actually some of these tools were being used for and how they were being used, how inappropriately they were being used.
But you didn't know that? You wouldn't assume that already? When Bush had put in place all of the you able to listen in on people's phone calls and all this stuff, you didn't already kind of know that was one of the main things that was be abused?
Yeah. It's one thing to assume it, but then there's another thing for someone to do something about it, or at least try to do something about it. And so
you give an inch and they tickle.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad the Patriot Act is no more. even though there's still some strong, tools for surveillance. I mean, but they were clearly abusing it. Look at the FISA abuse that took place for the Trump campaign.
Yes. But the thing is, you could go on Twitter and get up-to-date information on all kinds of stuff happening in the world. You want to look for a terrorist? Yeah. Somebody in some remote area of whatever, the mountains of Afghanistan, there's somebody with Twitter. There's somebody who sees something, knows something, or whatever. You can get information if you're really looking for it.
Sure.
If you really find it. You don't need all these acts or whatever. People have put information front and center in public. It's just a matter of you retrieving that information. They look at these foolish people who commit crimes and video themselves, and then their idiot friends put it on Facebook Live or Twitter. Like, it has to be the dumbest shit in the world to videotape yourself committing a crime and then posting it. Like, we ain't gotta work that hard anymore.
Well, you know, terrorists, they use encrypted apps too. Like, they use WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Or, you know, some of the other apps.
Yeah.
But they're encrypted. You know, you just don't know if they talk code. I mean, come on.
Facebook knows what it says. It's encrypted to a point, but Facebook knows. Facebook could crack the code. If it was like, you know, like blockchain type cryptocurrency style, then you really wouldn't know, because there is no, there's a trail, but there is no real data information that's stored. But you're gonna tell me that with all the conversations that people have back and forth, just like a text message, that nobody knows what's going back and forth? Come on. Come on, man.
Next story. Trump, he's going at Paul Ryan hard.
Why? What did he do?
Did you see the rally? The rally, he was going off on Fox News, and, you know, he's talking about the Fox board member, Paul Ryan. Apparently, there's rumors that Paul Ryan, who joined the board of Fox News March of 2019, said, you know, it is advising the company to kind of move away from their support of the president. And so
he was weak when he was there. He's weak now. I mean, he kind of comes off like a Buttigieg, you know. They try to get him with it in. Try to you try to be the image of a certain type of candidate, a certain type of politician, and that's really what he is. He's a politician. Negotiate this side, negotiate that side. He was always middle of the road. He never really took a huge stand on everything. That's why people poked fun at him, and it's no surprise. He's probably one of the never Trumpers who really can't stand Trump's personality. And it is what it is. It's toxic masculinity.
Yeah, I definitely think, you know, I felt as though when Trump first was elected, I mean, they could have really got off to a running start, and Paul Ryan was just dragging his damn feet.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, you have the White House, you have the Senate, you got the House. Okay, there's nothing stopping you. You know, when the Democrats get power, full steam ahead. They don't hesitate.
The biggest problem, the biggest error, and maybe not, because it could be a learning experience, but the biggest error or misjudgment that Trump made when he came into office was thinking that he could work with all of the people who were there. That if he just showed how his ideas were going to bring people together and move the country forward, and, you know, try to balance things out and not be so divisive or whatever, he would have made so many more strides had he cleaned house, got rid of every holdover from the Obama administration, put in exactly who he wanted to work with from jump, and then start new. You never take on the old people from the old way of doing things, because the last thing they want to do is change how they've been doing shit forever. It's like working for a company and everybody there is in their 50s and 60s and they've been there for 20 years. They're not trying to update their methods. They know what they know, how they know it, and they don't want nobody changing their stuff, because they know how to do the job they know how to do, and that's it. They don't want new ideas. So you got to clean house, get rid of everybody. Hopefully he's doing that this time, because there's still some people who are there that are anti-Trump. I would never. You would not be tolerating that shit in my house. Get out. You don't like me? Get out. Go find a different job. I don't need you here. I don't need that controversy.
Wow.
You don't like doing it my way? Beat
it. Wow. So, next story. So, the feds charge a man for threatening the whistleblower attorney. Oh my God, it's really getting out of control out there. As you know, the whistleblower attorney has this. I mean, I don't know who's doing this stuff. I don't know this guy. Hold on. This guy threatens. Prosecutors in Michigan have charged a man with making a death threat against one of the attorneys for the whistleblower who initiated the impeachment inquiry of President Donald Trump, according to newly unsealed court records. The man, Britton J. Atkinson, allegedly emailed the attorney in November, calling him a traitor who must die a miserable death. The attorney, Mark Zaid, confirmed to Politico that he received the email that day after the Trump held up Zaid's photo and read some of Zaid's tweets during a rally. I remember that too. When Zaid sent out a series of tweets, and some of the tweets referred to, CNN potentially taking down the Trump campaign. It also made references to something that was akin to, I don't know if you watch Marvel and the Marvel series, but there's a group called Hydra. And he made reference to, if you chop off one head, two will take its place. I mean, he actually said this in a tweet.
Yes. Well, listen, don't talk smack. That's all I got to say. You have to vent. And first of all, if you take, like, a lot of these news organizations, or all of them, are so bent on what people say on Twitter. People talk junk on Twitter. You would never say half the stuff to anybody's face because you don't have the balls to do it. You just don't. Most people just don't. Trump does. Trump will say it to their face, but you just don't. You hide really behind your iPhone and you tippy tap and you tweet, repost, cut and paste. You do all these antics that you would never do because you just don't have it in you to do it. So that's lesson number one. I would never take any of this nonsense seriously. However, on the flip side, people be cray. And when you say some stuff out the side of your face that you can't really back up, then some crazy person may come at you. In real life. A crazy person will come at you. So you got to be very cognizant and careful that things do catch up to you, even if you have anonymous accounts, even if you think it's only online. Like, shit translate into reality, into IRL, into life. So own your tweet. Don't tweet it, okay? Own your tweet.
You said own your tweet. Oh my God.
You got to own your tweet or don't tweet it. If you can't back it up and you can't, worry, you got to worry about being confronted by a psycho, don't tweet it. It's the easiest thing not to tweet.
New York Times, page 1, Friday. Russia backs Trump's re-election and he fears Dem will exploit its support.
Where do they even get that story? What Russian did they ask for that story? I mean, give me
the same news. Ones that they asked for the dossier.
Exactly. Fake news. I call fake news on that one. You know what's funny? I have a lot of Russian friends. Why? I don't know. But it just so happens that a lot of my girlfriends are Russian. And they don't like Trump. But they love them some Putin. And I'm like, how is that? Like, Putin is like a man. He's strong. But they don't like Trump. And they will defend all of the liberal talking points. And they love Obama. I'm like, I don't get it. I see
They're younger.
But yeah, they are younger. Shut up. Were you trying to age me?
No, I'm just saying. Well, I mean, I think you might be older than I am, but
probably
it's just when I have Russian friends too, and the guys, a lot of the men, they get it. They're definitely not liberal. You know, and the older Russians that I know, they definitely don't like Putin at all. I think it's more so the younger Russian women that, you know, kind of like Putin because of, you know, his masculinity. But the guys do not like Putin. They do not like that government. And, you know, the older Russians do.
Of course not. He's like a big tyrant. Like, you have daddy issues. I don't want to tell them that, but that's how I feel whenever they say stuff like that. I'm like, you got some daddy issues to work out, because that just does not make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
I call fake news on all that.
So did they immigrate here or no? They were born here?
No, they immigrated here. You want to know the scandals? So they come from Russia and they get married. So they'll pay whoever to be married, but they go through it legally. So they're legally married for, you know, I think it's like 8 years, and then you can get divorced, and then you apply for your citizenship. Yep. And that takes like another year or two. And then you can actually apply for a U.S. passport and stuff and be legally a citizen here.
What? They need to cut that out.
No, it's like a 10-year process. I know. The thing is, well, wait a minute. If you move here, let's just say, under the marriage situation, I could buy that, right? I could buy that because you have to file taxes jointly as a married couple. You have to pay, right? Whatever living expenses or whatever. You're not mooching off the system, because if you paid the person, you can't go and collect subsidies because their taxes or their income is wrapped up in it too. So I think like,
I'm not sure.
Oh, Alexa is talking. So if you're doing it that route and that's like the legal loophole that you're using, I'm all right with that. I don't appreciate people who come here, don't want to assimilate, don't want to become citizens, don't want to follow our laws or anything like that, just want to exploit our services that they could get for free, especially in places like New York. You could just sign up for healthcare and all the rest of it. You don't English, you don't have to do any of that stuff. And then the citizens are held accountable for your living, your life, your food, your healthcare.
Yeah.
I'd rather you get married and have a man pay for you, even if it's a fake marriage.
I almost don't even buy none of that because, I mean, I read a story back, I think a couple of years ago. There were a slew of women, and it's like a hustle from Russia and China that fly into the United States, have their babies, and they go back home.
Oh, yeah. No, they're like up in, they put them up in hotels and stuff for like 2 or 3 months. That's crazy. Yeah. And then you have a baby. It's, what's it called? Baby, like, that's basically what it is. And then they get they get birth certificates. So as an American citizen, if you're born in the hospital, you birth certificate, you get the doctor signing off, you sign off, you know, you don't need a social security number to get a birth certificate. But then when you go back home, let's say in however many weeks after you give birth, you have an American-born kid. So they could come back and forth as much as they want. Apply for a passport, apply for all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, God, this is horrible. What the hell? What are we doing?
Well, it's opportunity. I'm not hating on none of them because I feel like if I were born in another place, I probably would try to do exactly the same thing. But
I'm hating on all of it.
The thing is, that is just the system we created with the flaws that we put in it for however many years, for whatever reason, these loopholes existed and continue to exist. So I get it. Like I wouldn't be crossing the rivers. I don't think I would be going through like the southern border. That's a little too gangster for me, but I could fly in, stay at.
I definitely would do it legally.
Marry somebody.
I mean, if I wasn't born in this country, I definitely would have came here legally. Like there was just There would be no way in the world.
It's a process and it's an expense. But it could be done. It could definitely be done. But it's a process and it's an expense. Oh.
Next story.
Let's see.
Session fever spikes in 5 states as conservatives seek to escape blue rule. So basically, you've got people in Oregon seeking to cascade into Idaho, Virginians who identify as West Virginians, Illinoisans fighting to escape Chicago, California dreaming of starting a 51st state, and New Yorkers who think 3 states are better than 1. So
fake news. I call fake news again.
Well, see, the thing is, why are people... This is the thing. I can understand why conservatives leave blue states. Because you're basically a political refugee or a hostage. But how come liberals in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut go to places like Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida, Texas, and then they don't change their damn voting habits?
Exactly. They go there and destroy shit down there. Exactly.
Basically.
That's why I don't think it's true. People always, these stories are like recurring stories all the time. They just pick different areas because I have seen stories like every single election cycle. Secession, they no longer want to be part of. Can I secede just myself? Can I make an island? Can I have my own little community of one?
Oh my God.
I don't want to be around none of these people. They all annoying. They ain't going nowhere.
Well, a cartoon. That was on a cartoon I saw. You ever watch Family Guy?
No.
Family Guy is funny. So there was this episode where he succeeded from the United States of America, his house. And so he had a pool and all of that. And he invited all these dictators over there, Fidel Castro and all of them. They were there. And you had the United States military flying helicopters over his property. And then things finally got bad when they cut off the water and the light.
No electricity for you.
Hilarious.
It's crazy. The only way you could truly is if you go up to like Alaska wilderness where nobody wants to live. Like the Alaskan bush people. They are serious. That is some serious off the grid type living.
Trust me, I've thought about it.
Nah, I want to be with all the conveniences, just tons of space between me and other people. I want to have high-speed internet. I want to have all my studio stuff set up. I want to have like nice manicured community and cool little cars and be able to pump gas, not have to plug in an electric car. Like, I want nice stuff. I just don't want every mofo being able to have stuff near me. Like, go over there. Give me.
That's funny.
I'm coming from New York, so we're basically living on top, like stacked on top of each other. So now that I got space, I'm like, give me my space. I need room.
Yeah, you guys are down there in Georgia. I'm so jealous.
It's so nice, except that it's been raining for the past month. It's been non-stop rain. When I tell you rain, like I have a little river, I got a creek making its way through my front lawn. I'm like, why? Why all this water? But now I understand the balance because in the summer it's so hot. There is not one drop of water. There is no humidity, no condensation. There's no clouds in the sky from like May to September. No clouds, just super sun beating down on you, drying everything out. But in the winter, rain, all rain every day, puddles and lakes and rivers and streams of rain. This is Georgia. This is Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia's nice.
But it's better than New York. That's for sure.
Yep. Definitely.
Oh, show. What's the next story you got there?
AOC.
Oh, God, not her.
AOC was on The View.
I'm sure they loved her. Did they love her? Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, they ate her up. Sonny and the rest of them ate her up. Now, Whoopi Goldberg wasn't, well, of course, Meghan McCain was not pleased. I mean, she did definitely try to challenge some of her views.
Meghan McCain is a
and kind of, yeah. I mean, there are some issues where, well, there are some issues that she definitely stand up for when she's there that I appreciate, but she's definitely an establishment type.
Listen, let me tell you something about Meghan McCain and Whoopi Goldberg, also in the same boat. I see the both of them very similar. Meghan McCain hates Donald Trump, right? Fine. He's a jerk. Yep. You love him, you hate him. She hates him. But she is sitting on the stage every single day having conversations with the woman who asked her father if he was going to make her a slave, Whoopi Goldberg, during his campaign.
Oh, my God.
He was on with his wife, and Whoopi Goldberg was beating him down and trying to equate him to a racist and asked him if she was going to be a slave again. Because apparently, in The Color Purple, she really was a slave when she was playing The Color Purple. It was like method acting.
Mm-hmm.
So she,
God,
can you believe that shit? But Meghan McCain will be angry at Donald Trump because they had a tiff and he called out her father. But she don't have no problem collecting checks and sitting next to the woman that asked her dad if he was gonna make her a slave. Really, bitch? I don't think so. Wow. That is so hypocritical. But you see how people are. To her advantage to be on the show, she could dismiss that. It doesn't really matter. She's there, just there for her point of view and blah, blah, blah. But she hated girlfriend. Get your priorities straight. If you're going to be one way, then be consistent. That's all. Don't be talking out of both sides of your face. Have an attitude with Trump, but then Whoopi Goldberg is totally okay with you. Like, come on. Come on. Please.
Wow.
To the both of them.
That's true.
They all fake.
That's true.
Bunch of phonies.
Wow. Man, you really tore her up.
I can't stand that. Like, pick a position. It's a very New York thing too, right? Pick a position.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me you devastated, you angry, you come out your face at Trump, because everybody on The View is going to back you up, right? They're going to, oh, go girl. She's middle of the road. She doesn't just go for that party. That's why we like her. She's like her father. She's a maverick, blah, blah, blah. Sure, buddy. Yep. Sure, buddy. When it's advantageous to your career right now. Because the woman sitting across from you ripped your father to shreds on national television live when your mama was sitting right there, and you don't seem to have a problem with that. So please with the outrage, true. Please. That is so fake.
Wow.
And Whoopi too. She ain't never been a slave. Why Whoopi so angry? Whoopi Goldberg has lost her eyebrows because she is so angry at the injustices. She has been a multimillionaire for the majority of her life, as dark as she is, complaining about injustices. She made her career at not only in comedy, but a female comedian, which was like non-existent. A black female comedian. She was on in hit blockbuster movies, and she was huge, and she was really funny too. Top-rated game show regularly for years and years and years. She has been in the public eye in everybody's household, but she's angry because of some injustices against Black people and taking it back to slavery. Like, you have overcome, Whoopi. You have overcome. Like, when is the acknowledgement of that gonna happen? It's like bizarre, warped mindset. Oh, she's on the top rated show again. She has been on TV forever and ever, on the top of the Hollywood squares. She was like, what? I don't get it. You should be trying to tell people how they could get there. You should be uplifting minorities and young Black women on how they could reach the top of whatever industry it is that they want to be a part of, because she was able to do it at the height of, when discrimination and just discrimination, not only against Blacks, but against women. And she has
she broke through some barriers.
Huge. But she's sitting up on The View angry at white people. Like, come on. It is so weird to watch that whole dynamic play out.
This is The Cure.